Hey there everybody, Pop on Top here. Welcome back to some more Fallout 4 mods. In today's mod we have the Fallout 4 Enhanced Color Correction. This is the original version. There's also a gloomy version that we may cover in a different video if you guys are interested in that. But what this mod attempts to do as we're watching the sunrise slowly over the horizon, I guess, right, is that we are seeing the colors kind of enhanced. So what this does is not only does it enhance colors, it kind of turns them up, makes them more vibrant, makes them a little bit more saturated, right? Obviously, most of this stuff you could do on your own with your monitor settings and stuff, but this does look nicer, I think, because it does attempt to make shadows darker as well as brights brighter. So what we're going to look at here is obviously things are pretty dark here, right? But like if we go into the interior section here, these lights inside my Red Rocket gas station are extremely bright. Like you can, and then the differences between the colors here, like you can see, well, the lighting just kind of loaded in. That was kind of weird. But like the idea here is that like the shadow of this mannequin here, right, is quite dark, right? Like it almost like, and then the way that it affects other things is crazy, right? Like, so we got the sun actually coming up though, slowly but surely here. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip a little bit ahead of time to the time where I normally would make my videos at, in Fallout time anyway, to 9 in the morning, because this is usually where the sun is the peak up in the sky. Obviously we got a little bit of clouds here, so what I'm going to do here is also change the weather to make it clear, which is usually what I do for the videos. 9 in the morning, clear weather, right? So you can see the shadows here of these, you know, power generators are enhanced as well. But even the little shadows here on stuff like little plants and stuff are darker in tone, and it just gives everything a slight like bit more depth. It's not like this is not a crazy enhancement, okay? This is not an over the top mod that's changing every little thing about all your stuff, right? It is definitely not like that at all. But it is making small little enhancements. I can tell immediately. The second I downloaded this mod, I was like, oh yeah, okay. The colors are punchier, but a lot of that has to do with the way things are being shaded here, right? So like the darkness is dark, the brightness is bright. Like the sun is extremely bright. The sun is bright in Fallout 4 anyway, but the way that it is applying darker shadows makes it seem like these objects are more real. Like I really truly believe that these little plants are doing a lot. Like trees applying darker shadows applies a lot. The gun even here, this 44 Magnum, does look better because it has the shaded parts are more shaded because it's a metal object. It's got shiny reflective parts. My character is currently wearing this cat suit here, and it also applies the shading as well. It's a very bright reflective material kind of here, but the way that the shading and stuff hits it, right? So if we go, we're currently like sitting in the sun, right? Very bright, very reflective and stuff. But like the way how dark it gets sitting here in the shade. This is just to say, this is like decently late in the morning where the sun's kind of up and stuff. But we're going to show off different times and different weather effects as well. So if we go to world manipulation here, and we also go back to time, we'll set it to noon. So like the middle of the day, the sun is kind of straight up and down here. So like obviously shadows move and stuff, and the way the shadows look are going to be different throughout the day and stuff too. Gives you a different example of how things look. Sheffield is actually visible here. We didn't really show this off earlier, but he can be quite dark in his little station here. The way that the shading of these little shelves and stuff here work is a nice looking effect, right? The shading on the character's suit and stuff, the way my arm and back is shaded here, right? Like depending on which way the sun hits you and stuff. Just the enhancement to the way that the shadows look is huge with this particular mod, right? So what we can also do here is show off some different weathers. Obviously, we had cloudy skies a little bit ago, as it is anyway. But let's make it rainy, because like rainy is dark, right? This is instantaneously become much darker. But the skyline has that enhanced contrast effect of the darker clouds being darker and the brighter clouds being brighter. But it is obviously dark. I would hopefully we get some lightning. I can't like command that to happen or anything, but lightning looks amazing with this particular mod. Obviously everything is shaded now and everything is kind of dark, but look, the interior of this red rocket, the lighting of these artificial lights from the inside here are much brighter still, and everything in here looks extremely bright, right? Like it's almost like glowing in a neon type effective way. So let's take a look at some other weather effects while we're here. We can. Let's make it foggy. Foggy here is extremely bright, which I guess makes sense. I don't know. I don't deal with too much fog where I live at. I'm not like very close to the ocean or anything like that. Not like, you know, your San Francisco's and other places that get extremely foggy. But like the fog here is very bright, right? Like it does give the effect of like everything is bright. I think fog is an interesting effect. I don't think it really shows off the capabilities of this very much because it just kind of makes everything white, right? We'll show off some different stuff here though. So like if we make it dark skies, which we already had earlier, right? So the skies are dark, it's not raining. The sun is still piercing through the dark sky, which the sun is like an extremely bright ball of energy. But like the way that the shading is applies differently, right? So like the darkness tone of these particular shadows is not as dark because everything is dark, right? Like, or it is still just it is just as dark, but it doesn't seem as dark in comparison to everything else in the world, right? Because everything else is kind of shaded and stuff here too. But the reflection handling on this particular 44 Magnum, I'm wearing this gun on, or using this gun on purpose, and this outfit here, right, with the shading and stuff, with the way that like the bright light is hitting off it, the shadows kind of underneath, like on the thigh there on this side. But it depends on how your character looks and stuff. The way the shading and everything looks, it just looks really, really nice. Now, here's the big one. Obviously, if the shadows are the thing being enhanced with this particular mod, because the shadows are getting darker and the brights are getting brighter, what we really need to do is we need to set it to midnight, because the pitch blackness of this is insane. Like, so this is nighttime. I pulled my gun out here, but I mean, like, the difference here is not that noticeable. The interior of this is glowing just as much as ever before. The red rocket sign and everything. Obviously, there's mods that can make the sign glow and stuff. The red rocket red sign, which would be kind of a cool effect right now, especially with this particular mod. This is like, this has got a flashlight on this particular thing here, and this flashlight is like an insane light, right? Like, look at how insane that light looks right there. That's insane, right? And like, even your character's flashlight, right? So it's extremely dark. If there was something up there, I could tell that there's a water tower that I can see the vague outline of the building, right? And I can kind of see my gun. But if I turn to the flashlight off, for one thing, I can't see my gun at all. Like, I'm aiming, but I have no idea what I'm aiming at. It's like Darker Nights mod, but it also just applies better colors to everything else, improved shading during the day, brighter sunlights, brighter lights in general. So like, obviously this is pretty bright, but like, if I was to walk around here, trust me, I cannot see anything. It's not just your screen. It depends on what screen you're looking at here too, like on what kind of effect you're gonna get here. I took fall damage there apparently. I can't see. Really, really cannot. But look, oh, there's a little fire over here, right? Like, there's a little Raider fire lantern thing. But like, the brightness of this, cooking some light out, right? Like, it just looks really nice. Oh, I wanted to show that off too. Okay, so like, I have the night vision perk. So like, you get the night person perk. If you crouch, you get night vision effect, which is normally like almost like green and ugly colored and stuff. Like this, with this particular mod, it enhances it, right? Where it's like, this is how dark it is, this is how bright it is. Obviously the brights get brighter too, where they get a little bit washed out, but with how dark it is, it makes it actually so you can kind of see what's going on. And like I said, this is dependent on what screen you're using. So like, if you're watching this on a TV or you're watching this on a monitor, depending on what type of display technology that monitor or television uses, if you're watching this on your phone, all of these screens are going to look different, right? So really, you have to watch this particular video on the same screen that you play Fallout 4 on to get the idea of what the effect would look like on your screen, potentially. But then there's YouTube compression and all kinds of things. It's always tough to show off some of these visual mods and stuff here. Obviously, the flashlight is extremely bright, like but see, like the difference here, right? Like of the night vision perk and the not night vision perk is extreme as well too, though. It's like, this is dark, this is pitch black, I can't see anything, and I think that's a really greatly enhanced effect. Not in terms of gameplay, because obviously I think it's going to hurt your gameplay. You're going to get snuck up on by a lot more shit than you would normally. But it is interesting. I do want to make it rain, because I think the lightning and this particular darkness effect. So now it's currently raining. You can't see that it's raining. You saw the lightning there. I guess I should turn the flashlight off, because right now we're sitting here pitch black. If a lightning flash happens, you're going to see it, because everything is just crazy lit. Like the contrast here, right? This is really just a description of contrast. But the difference between making darks a little bit darker and making brights a little bit brighter makes the difference between the two greater, right? So because brights are so bright, like this lightning, and I really would like to flash on my screen at any point now, versus how dark the darks get of like this being pitch black nighttime. It's crazy. That's a crazy looking effect. It just has it's so cool looking. It is absolutely nuts, like how good this mod looks. And it's just a tiny file. It's like less than a megabyte, right? And obviously you can see some of the enhanced shadows and stuff too when we get rain here and we got these materials wet, right? Because obviously the light is reflecting off of them in a certain type of way. And if the light is brighter, then the reflections are brighter, in theory anyway, right? So like, the entire visual makeup of the game is enhanced by just a tiny less than a megabyte mod that, you know, gives you a little bit of extra color punch, gives you really dark darks and really bright brights, and I definitely like it a lot. It's up to you on your personal preference on whether you're like into it or not. If some of you may ask directly here for like a direct comparison between vanilla and this. I think with the way YouTube compression works and stuff, you're not going to notice a humongous difference anyway. You just have to take my word for it. And my description, this is why I'm using my words to describe things, but it's also a personal preference. Some of you are going to want the vanilla game's grayer soft shadows that make it easier to see through, because it enhances your ability to see your enemies, and then that's a gameplay enhancing benefit, you know, if you want to consider it that way. And especially nighttime, it makes it so you can actually see things. But with this particular mod, I think it just the way that it makes like even these bushes or any like the gun, my character's hands, everything just kind of stands out a little bit more. So I definitely recommend you guys check this one out. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed the video, like the video. If you guys are new to my channel and you haven't yet already, make sure to subscribe. That way you can check out more videos from me. And pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, whatever it may be, and I'll see you in the next episode.